So let's have a look at the starting order for the pre-final for senior road tax. Starting on pole position, a clean sweep of the race victories yesterday. Vincent France in the 330 will lead the field from pole position alongside defending and reigning champion Linus Hansen in the 333. Bennett Ahrens in the 327 will have last year's runner-up Luca Thiel in the 399 alongside. Then it's Luca Köster and Lucas Hartmann, 366 and 309, row 3. The 310 of Maurice Schmeis and the 308 of Mark Lupfer, that's row 4. Lucas Thompson in the 312 and Finn Stiak in the 339 complete the top 10. Then it's the 335 of Adrian Dobric, the 383 of Denny Bent, Moritz Wirtz, Max Busch, Bastian Barlage, Giuseppe Fico, Philip Kesik. Then we've got Mats Johan Overhoff, Luisa Keller, Kian Agassade, Vivian Michelle Haidt, Leander Luc Schneider, Lasse Heinhardt, Finley Hamfrecht, Andre Petropoulos, and Darius Nito, rounding out the 27 strong that are due to race in this. So 14 minutes plus an additional lap for the first of their races, the pre-final here today at Wackersdorf. So who's going to take the advantage going into the afternoon's festivities? Will it be the likes of Vincent France, Linus Hansen, Bennett Ahrens, Luca Thiel, Luca Köster, Lucas Hartmann, Maurice Schmeis? The list could go on and on, but we haven't got enough time to talk about that right now because they are ready, set, primed, and getting into the 2x2 rolling start formation. So it's down to Vincent France and Linus Hansen to control the pace. Out of the final corner they come. Into the tram lines we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? Revs rise. The lights are out. They're off and racing. And it looks like it's a better start for the likes of Linus Hansen, who gets up into the lead of the race going through turn 3 for the first time. As Luca Thiel has made his way up into roundabout third positions. They're all scrabbling over the scraps on the table behind. There's a train of at least 10 carts, and it's just Constantina through turn 6. Several carts compromised, and they're all squabbling. And oh, there's been an incident. And I did see, I think it was Giuseppe Fico, and that is the 303 that has just been caught out big time. Darius Nito, that had made a hell of a start. They all started Constantina going through into turn 4. And then as they went into 5, it was 2x2 hurrah into the corner. And then into 6, it all went wrong. And several drivers made up places on the inside, but going through, and it was just, there was a massive, I think it looked like Nito got a touch from behind. Then all of a sudden, the back axle of Giuseppe Fico went skyward. It's now the battle for second and third really heating up. Linus Hansen has got a gap after the first lap, and it's a good one. It's half a second. In second place, well, it's the two JJ Racing teammates. It's Vincent France versus Luca Thiel. And fourth looks like that could be Lucas Hartmann, Luca Köster, rounding out the top 5 positions. Bennett Ahrens for RS competition, rounding out the top 6. Lucas Thompson up into 7th. Mark Lupfer, Finn Stiak, Maurice Schmeis, they round out the top 10. So a very, very difficult first lap for quite a few drivers because you're trying to keep out of trouble on the first lap. You want to get across the stripe and then start pushing. And here is a little bit further down the order. There is the 310, Maurice Schmeis. And he's just behind Mark Lupfer from FM Racing. Then there's Maddox Wirtz and Max Busch. Maddox Wirtz was looking up the inside of Maurice Schmeis. That was going through turn 6. Keep your eyes behind Max Busch because Denny Bent is there waiting in the wings and looking to fire one up the inside at a moment's notice. So just over 11.5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap, and it's getting rather close. It's getting rather heated here out on the circuit. Forget the ambient air temperature, which is now currently at 23 degrees Celsius. It's red hot on the track. You can see there, that is possibly, I think that is Lucas Thompson in the 312. I've just seen going through shot. just a second ago. He's currently running in 7th position ahead of Finn Stiak. And here is still the battle between the likes of Mark Lupfer, Maurice Schmeis, Max Busch, who's now got past Maddox Wirtz. Denny Bount is running at the top 13. Then it's Adrian Dobric. Giuseppe Fico has managed to recover from that, let's just say, bump on the backside he got there, which took him skyward, and he was bouncing up and down on that rear axle. So it looks like we do have Darius Nitu, unfortunately, out. Now, I have seen, for some strange reason, that Jan Heinen is showing up on the timing screen, as there is a change for position. And that was Bennett Arends on Luca Costa going through into turn number 3 on the start of lap number 5 of this race. But Linus Hansen now extends his gap to just over, or just under 0.8 of a second at this particular moment. We're on to lap number 5 of the race. Your guess is as good as mine. Can anyone get close to Linus Hansen? Well, Lucas Hartmann is starting to push, and he's closing on Luca Thiel for 3rd place. And there are the trio. And there goes Hartmann up the inside of Luca Thiel through turn 4. And Hartmann had just set the fastest lap of the race of 50.566 on that particular occasion. So there we go. Another change up at the sharp end of the order. And the good thing is that we have a lot of drivers pushing like crazy, a lot doing personal bests. Maurice Schmeis, Mark Lupfer, Finn Stiak, Lucas Thompson, Bennett Arends, Lucas Hartmann, all putting in personal bests. As we've done 5 minutes of this 14-minute plus an additional lap race, and Henson continues to lead. And his lead now has just extended by nearly a 10th, and Linus Hansen puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 50.547. So quicker than anybody else around this track. But it was 19 thousandths quicker than the driver that is currently in 3rd place, Lucas Hartmann. So other drivers that have made positional gains. Finley Hamprecht has been deposed from 23rd position courtesy of Lasse Reinhardt. Mats Johan Overhoff has got past Andrei Petropoulos for 21st position. Maddox Wirtz now gets past Maurice Schmeis in the battle for what was 10th position. Now Maddox Wirtz is is fractionally ahead, not by much on the previous tour. Just over 8 minutes to go. Linus Hansen starting to push, and he's putting in quali-style laps of 50.450. Remember that Linus Hansen yesterday in timed qualifying was the only driver in senior Rotax that went under 50 seconds yesterday. The only driver to do that in timed qualifying. So 7.5 minutes approaching on the timer, still to go. We're 30 seconds away from the halfway point. Denny Bount drops to 15th behind the likes of Adrian Dobric and Giuseppe Fico. Max Busch rounds out the top 12, and he's trying to close in on Maurice Schmeis for 11th position. Petropoulos has now got back into 20th, past Mats Johan Overhoff. But Vincent France is putting in personal best now and has a possibility of thinking, well, if I can beat Linus Hansen in heats, I sure as heck can beat him in finals. So let's see if we can go after him. Well, he's got just under 7 minutes plus 1 lap to chase down and then get past. But they do say that chasing is one thing, getting past is something completely different altogether. And that is very much case in point here when you've got this amount of time to play with. So Linus Hansen will be keeping an eye on what Vincent France is doing. As now they come across the line to complete lap number 9 of this race. Hansen's lead is now 1.268 seconds. So Linus Hansen is responding accordingly. and is putting the hammer down at 50.489 last time round. So out of the 3 laps he's just done, Linus Henson has just done an average of probably a low 50.5 over the last 3 laps. That's consistent pace from the 333. Won by the best part of well over 80 points last season, and looks to start with a victory on the day it matters most. It's Sundays that count towards the championship tally. So no positional gains, but people improving on lap times. Luca Thiel, Luca Köster, Finn Stiak, as Linus Hens has just put in a 50.429. Vincent France is another driver that's got into the 50.4s, the high 50.4s, but it is not enough to close the gap to Linus Henson at this particular moment, because now he's got to try and do his level best and push like crazy, because now Henson has got to just keep the blinkers on and move forward like he has been doing for quite a few years. He's had a difficult transition into seniors, but last year, with his title victory here in Rotax Max Challenge Germany, we saw a different kind of driver, and that has meant his performances in international competition, such as the Euro Trophy, where he's in the top 5 in the championship standings. He is now a force to be reckoned with. People are now noticing him, and that for Linus Henson is not a bad thing. It can be a good thing because it gets people worried. Just under 4.5 minutes to go, and Lucas Hardman in 3rd place is closing on Vincent France. So Lucas Hardman wanting to get 2nd at before we get towards the checkered flag situation. And whilst he's doing that, Luca Thiel is dropping a little bit behind Hardman, and Luca Thiel was nearly 0.2 slower that particular occasion. Now he's got probably a couple of drivers closing in on him. He might have to be doing a bit of damage limitation here, as Luca Thiel, because now he's dropped to just under 6 behind Lucas Hartmann. Max Busch has got past Mark Lupfer for the last position in the top 10. As Lasse Reinhardt gets up into 21st past Leander Luke Schneider. Andre Petropoulos has got past Philip Kessick for 18th position. And 27 drivers are still running after 12 laps. Darius Nitu out on, well, not even getting towards the start of this race, and retired on the very first lap of competition here today. 3 minutes to go, and this battle here, this is Lukas Thompson versus Luca Köster. Köster, the winner of one of the races at Mulsanne in torrential weather conditions, and that was a mixed bag of weather. We had thunderstorms, we had lightning, we had 35+ degree temperatures, and he was the one that won a victory in the most ridiculous way possible, and one I've never seen in karting, where he's clashed with the wall and he's kept the throttle planted and won the race. Still remember when he tagged me in his Instagram on that one as well, because I was commentating at that point. But Lukas Thompson looking at a potential of a top 6 finish. Look behind them, you've got Finn Stiak and Maddox Wirtz. They are battling away over what is 8th on the road. So 2 battles intensifying, as there is Maddox Wirtz behind. Lukas Thompson trying to go on the offensive with Luca Köster, but not on that particular occasion. Finn Stiak still trying to get past Maddox Wirtz. Well, Finn Stiak still trying to stay ahead of Maddox Wirtz. My apologies there. Mark Lupfer coming into the clutches of Adrian Dobric. And you can see there is a 4-way scrap. So that is now Lukas Thompson has got past Luca Köster. And here comes Finn Stiak and Maddox Wirtz. Things are tightening up, and Maddox Wirtz looking for an opportunity past Finn Stiak. Can't see the lights at the end of the tunnel quite yet, and will wait. Now goes for it up the inside, and that's a nice little cheeky move from Maddox Wiertz up the inside of Finn Stiak to now take 8th position. But then Max Busch is now closing in. Oh, this is good. This is going to get interesting. Hold on to your hats, grab your popcorn and your favourite soft drink, and wait for the roller coaster ride to unfold before our very eyes. And the timer is quickly running out. We're coming to the last 50 seconds, plus an additional lap here at the pre-final for the seniors. We'll have 3 more races to go after this before the lunch break, with the Gentleman Kart Challenge 100 bringing the opening race, the opening bits of the racing here at Wackersdorf to a close. And there looks to be a bit more drama this time. Luca Koster coming under pressure from Maddox Wiertz, as Finn Stiak still holding Max Busch at bay, but Maddox Wiertz looking to close in on the 366. Looks up the inside. He nearly had an opportunity there, but he wasn't close enough. He knew it. He backed out of it. Good call there by Maddox Wiertz in the 341, running with the 3G Racing crew. So timer has expired. That is it. Next time around, Linus Henson, who now has nearly a 1.7 second advantage over Vincent France, will get the final lap board. Things are getting closer and closer, a little bit further towards the bottom part of the top 10. There's a couple of battles here, one of which is Luca Koster, who's got back past Maddox Wiertz in the meantime, and then you've got Finn Stiak and Max Busch battling away over what is 9th place on the road. So Lucas Thompson keeping himself in 6th place. But Linus Henson very shortly will be getting towards the final couple of corners on the circuit. As you see, Darius Nitu's car unfortunately left to the side. There will be a clean-up operation to get that kart back to Parc Fermé. But we head towards the final few corners. And Linus Henson really closing in on a victory here today. But at the meantime, Bennett Arend's closing in. It is going to be the victory for Linus Henson as he takes the win ahead of Vincent France, Lucas Hartmann, Luca Thiel, Bennett Arends, and then the squabble for what was 6 was won by Lucas Thompson, Luca Koster, Maddox Wiertz, Finn Stiak, Max Busch, Mark Lupfer, with Adrian Dobrich rounding out the top 12. But the reigning defending champion scoring when it is best required on finals day. So Henson wins the pre-final here at Wackersdorf for Senior Rotax. Let's have a look at the results from 12th downwards, shall we? So Adrian Dobrich rounds out the top 12. 13th, Giuseppe Fico ahead of Maurice Schmeis, with Jan Heinen rounding out the top 15. Now, Jan Heinen did not run yesterday, so I'm wondering if there were some technical dramas that didn't allow Jan Heinen to compete. But Kian Agassadi rounds out the top 16 ahead of Andrei Petropoulos. Denny Berndt, Lasse Reinhardt, Philip Keskik. I'll get that surname right if I can. Leander Luke Schneider, Mats Johan Overhoff, Lucas Vavagenak, Finley Hamfrecht, Louisa Kehler, Vivian Michel Haidt, and Bastien Barlage bringing up the rear in 27th, with Darius Nitu, unfortunately, on that first lap incident, retiring on the spot.